Well, look, as you may well know from watching some of my videos, if you've done that, I am a 100% Trump supporter. But that doesn't mean I didn't used to like some of the ideas that Bernie Sanders had. You know, improving schooling, being against the military industrial complex, rebuilding infrastructure, raising the minimum wage, all that sort of stuff that he talked about. But him endorsing Hillary Clinton proves that he is a fraud. He never meant any of those things. He was just putting on an act. He knew he was never going to become president himself. And he knew that because if he wanted to be president, he would never have said anything against the military-industrial complex. You cannot go against the military-industrial complex and survive as a president. The last one, who was it? Oh, JFK. He got shot in the head. So it just wasn't going to happen. And Hillary Clinton is a corporate stooge and a servant to the military-industrial complex. And Bernie Sanders supporting her is utterly ridiculous. If Bernie Sanders were genuine, he would support no one. I don't care if she's in the same party as him, or maybe she has some of the same beliefs he has. My honest opinion is he knew from day one he was never going to be president, and he just spewed out all this rhetoric only to turn around and endorse Hillary Clinton. So it's almost like his ideas have been incorporated to what Hillary Clinton's platform has been. Although not really, because Hillary Clinton isn't going to go about doing any of the things that Bernie Sanders' rhetoric would have suggested that he would have done had he become president. I'm making this argument because I'm quite frustrated. I was half tempted to wear, let's say, a Bernie Sanders shirt instead of a Donald Trump shirt. Get a Bernie Sanders hat, kind of go along with him because he had some interesting ideas. I did prefer Trump over him. I'm 100% behind Trump. Some people go, well, Trump's an idiot. He talks a lot of junk. And his silly idea of building a wall between America and Mexico is flawed in so many ways. But that's because it's baby talk. That's how they start off. They start off being all this and that, and then you start to see them for what they really are. And we are seeing what Bernie Sanders really is. That he's a two-faced rat, just like the rest. If he had any brains in his skull and had any wishes to be well liked, those all got crushed when he supported Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton literally worked for an administration that killed children. Okay? Maybe they killed children. Maybe it was accidental that they killed children. They killed children in Syria and Libya. And they'll continue doing that because Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State for Obama. When she becomes president, maybe Obama won't make press conferences. Maybe you won't see him too much in the limelight. But he'll be there, making decisions. He's not just going to go away. He's not just going to retire and, live on a beach and sip on martinis. He's going to be actively involved. Whether you see him or not is irrelevant. And people who think just because a new president comes along, especially if they're in the same party, endorsed by the former president, and have more or less the same ideas as them, I'm sure they have their disagreements on certain things. I'm not entirely literate on such things. I don't know. I don't get too much time to study. I mentioned that in other videos. Like, I work 55 hours a week, man. Cut me some slack. But I am saying that Donald Trump is not Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump has his own agenda. And it's different from what we've seen. We do need change, as Obama once preached 8 years ago. We need hope. We need change. And guess what? Now it's his turn. It's his administration's turn. It's his followers' turn for the change. The change to Donald Trump and the Republicans. And you may go, well, it was a Republican president who allowed 9/11 to happen. That wasn't Donald Trump. That was George Bush. They're two completely different people. You cannot blame Donald Trump for what happened at 9/11. You cannot blame Donald Trump for what happened in Iraq. And that whole clusterfuck that's happened since then, which, by the way, everyone says, Obama was cleaning it up. He weren't cleaning up nothing. If he were cleaning up something, ISIS wouldn't have been formed. But it did. And that's because he's incompetent. He's always been incompetent, and people only liked him because he was able to enunciate, speak properly, in a calm, collective manner. He had a charismatic personality and things like that. But those things aside, that's not enough to determine whether you're a good leader or not. I don't care if he made good terms with Cuba or not. Okay? Cuba is in a downturn since then. He ain't done them no favors. So maybe the trade policy has changed a little bit, but Cuba is no better off with Obama leading the America-Cuba relations. It was time that sort of changed in the embargo against Cuba and all that kind of junk. But the thing is, there are people who commit crimes. You hear of it all the time on the internet, of people who are caught with a little bit of marijuana. It especially happened in the 70s and 80s. And they get sentenced to like 190 days in jail or something ridiculous for like an insignificant crime. But these people commit the most monstrous, barbaric acts, and somehow they get off scot-free. I don't care if you got a lot of stress. I really don't. I don't care if you're the president and you have to hear death threats from other countries all the damn time. I don't care if you have to get yelled at a lot by your generals or whoever. I don't care if you got to deal with the kind of garbage you got to deal with. You took that on when you decided to become president, that you wanted to run for president. Okay? And those guys have skeletons in their closet. Donald Trump? Okay, fair enough. He probably ripped off a lot of people monetarily wise. But in my opinion, that's more acceptable. Sure, you may have done some work and not got paid for it, but you're still here. You're still able to get food. You still have housing. And that's what happened to a fair amount of people in the States under Donald Trump's business practices. It's true. I'm not going to lie for him. But the thing is, as I've said in another video, the Secretary of State was Hillary Clinton under the Obama administration. They committed more robbery of the American people than Donald Trump did. Donald Trump's the underdog. Everyone's against him. I've mentioned in other videos, the members of the Republican Party are for Hillary Clinton. Ted Cruz, Mitt Romney, because Hillary Clinton used to be a Republican. And some people go, oh, that was a long time ago. Or maybe it was 2 minutes ago because she has Republican connections. Maybe she is still a Republican. That she may not say that. Maybe she says she's a Democrat. But if you got Republicans supporting you, you can't say that you're not on board with them. And it's not only that, there are other people like Bernie Sanders or President Obama, Hillary Clinton's husband, Bill Clinton, probably even Monica Lewinsky. She was just a stooge. Someone there for the press. She's a phony, a fraud, just like her. I'm real irritated, man, because it's starting to look like we already know who won the presidential election. And it's a bunch of garbage. It doesn't represent what the majority of the people want and believe who should be president. And they're using media on the internet, media on the television, and manipulative concepts to undermine Donald Trump supporters. They say Donald Trump supporters are racist. Guess what? You could be a harmless Donald Trump supporter, be walking down the wrong street in the States, and you're gonna get attacked. Now, does that sound reasonable? That we don't actually live in a country where you can make your own decisions about political leaders that could possibly be president without fear of being beaten by thugs? Would not even be half surprised, not at all, if Obama was directly responsible for that. That he pulled strings. Maybe Trump's just a puppet. Maybe he has no will of his own. I don't want to believe that, but I don't know what to believe. I'm not in the inside circle. I can't see what's going on in the inside. But I know we're getting chiseled. And the people that make the decisions have made the decisions for us. They ain't asking us anymore who we want to be president. They're telling us. And guess what? I don't think you're any smarter. You may be in the inner circle of people. You may be a Freemason and a member of secret society. You may be privy to information that us common folk aren't. But you are not more intelligent than we are. And I think we should have the opportunity to pick for ourselves. No, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of idiots out there. There's no shortage of idiots. But there ain't no shortage of idiots in the political world either. The fact of the matter is, the human race is still evolving. We're getting a bit smarter than we used to be, but we're still a bunch of dumbasses. Okay? So, I'm frustrated. I don't like the idea of Bernie Sanders supporting Hillary Clinton. To me, that says he's a fraud, a cheat, and a coward. And he's crawling to her. You want to be that way, Bernie Sanders? Then every good thing you said, every promise you made, and every smile you put on your face, you can gather them in a spiky box and shove them right up your ass. Okay? Anyway, that's my opinion of Bernie Sanders supporting Hillary Clinton. People are welcome to challenge my opinion on it. I would prefer if they didn't result to name calling and would actually, back up their claims with a rebuttal or a retort. Because I've had other videos where people are just calling me names. And I'm going to let those people in on a secret. Any idiot can go around calling names. And if that's all you're doing, those names you call could be turned around and pointed at you. Because you know the definition of an insult, and that's all you know, you can't refute my argument, then how is the insult you threw at me not applying to you? Anyway, real irritated right now with this. So Donald Trump 2016. Seriously consider it. Thank you for watching.